posted a video last night showing my boat and my setup on the boat. I just thought I'd show you up close what I did. I have a Predator 103 made by Pelican. You can buy them at Academy. Good little boat, plastic boat. It's got a live well and a bait box or a battery box in it. You can mount a trolling motor at the front or the back. It's got plugs, which the plug in the front of my boat doesn't work anymore. It's old. So that plug doesn't work anymore, so I can only use my trolling motor from the back. But needed a way to use multiple rods on this little boat without making anything permanent, drilling holes, tearing the boat up in any way. So I had some scrap lumber in the backyard, and I built these brackets to mount these. These are simple rod holders. They're cheap. I got these from Walmart. And they just screw on these brackets that I built, and then I can just take these clamps that I got from Lowe's and clamp them right to the boat. Ready to go. They're not permanent. They can be taken off, so I don't have to worry about leaving them out in the weather and I'm getting rusted. Even though they're coated a little bit, they won't last long out here in this weather. So of course these things can swivel back and forth. You can adjust the height on them to get them where you want them. And I run a set of these on one side, a set on the other side, 4 rods. I actually have some more rod holders that I experimented with mounting just on the side of the boat where the cleats were when I had a friend of mine fishing with me, and it seemed to work pretty good. So I could actually run 6 if I wanted to. It's things like this that just go to show you don't have to have a lot of money to be able to do what you want. You can use a little ingenuity and maybe some material that you have around or that you could get from somebody cheap or even free, and make stuff like this. Everything I do is on a small budget, so I have to be efficient with what I have to be able to do what I want. So this is just to go to show the small guys that you don't have to have a big budget to be able to do this. And the rods and reels that I use are not fancy. They're not expensive. These are Shakespeare rods, 6.5 foot medium action rods. I bought these reels here from Walmart. I think they're called Outdoor Angler, so it's an off-brand, but they're very smooth. They have 5 ball bearings in them. At the time I got these, I bought a couple of them. They were $10 a piece, and they work great. They've gone up a little bit on the price on them, but they're well worth the money. Smooth, really smooth. The anti-reverse locks up well on it. Very satisfied with these. And at the time, if I would have known that they were going to go up on the price, I probably would have bought half a dozen of them. But just another thing, just another way to show you that you don't have to have a lot of money investing in it. Of course you can if you want to. Some guys do. If you got the budget for it, nothing wrong with having name brand, higher quality equipment. But I fish with what I can afford, and this works for me. And my setup, being that I'm in a small boat, I don't have 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 foot rods. But you know, maybe one day that'll happen. But I do have a 10 foot B&M jigging pole, which I've tried from time to time, single pole jigging. I've got a marker buoy that I can drop out there, and when I sit on one of those brush piles and try to single pole jig them.